This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm positively giddy.
Why is that?
Because later this week, a good friend of mine and another good friend of mine are getting married to each other.
But Tim, my wedding is this weekend. I hope you're not...
Oh, no, I've double booked.
Oh, no. Boy, your meal's already been paid for, Tim. I'll box it up, I guess.
Yeah, box it up.
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, how much does your wedding cost? I'm just kidding, Tom.
It's
never ask.
Is that
a woman's age? A man's salary.
Is that I've never heard? Yeah, I guess I have known that.
And then the specific breakdown of costs for a wedding.
Those sound like good rules to live by.
Yeah, I don't ask anybody anything really. I don't
you
ask things
don't
like
ask,
clarifying questions when I really
or like
should.
how other people are doing.
No,
or what their interests are.
You know, I try to remember that as I meet new people, where it's like,
but
if
it's
somebody
boring.
asks me what I do for a living, I should ask them the same question back. I just answer and go like, I hope that sounded smart in my head.
Yeah.
I don't say that to them.
I think that, I don't know why. I have a similar thing, and it's not...
Siblings, yes. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I have a brother. Well, see you later.
I have a similar thing with everything, and it's not because it is like that. I guess to a certain extent, I'm a dick. Like, I don't think of it a lot of times. But then a lot of times I do think of it, and I think like, that's prying. I shouldn't ask. And I don't know why. It's like the same question somebody else just asked me.
Yeah. Well, did you feel like violated when they asked you that question? Was your first instinct, well, I never. And
no.
So you would never dream of asking somebody else.
No. Sometimes it is like I answered that question too easily. I don't want to throw it back on. I bet this guy probably thought like, I'd have to really work for an answer, but I had one right away.
Oh, you're afraid of putting them on the spot, asking them the same question?
Yeah. And it's a question like, are you from New York? Something like that. I am from New York. And so it's not really fair for me to throw it back at this. Yeah, I'm from New York. Oh shit. I thought it was going to take you a while to explain where you're from. And I'd have time to
ready
think.
To talk again.
Yeah.
That's considerate of you.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be, I don't ask questions because I'm afraid I'm going to be bored when the other person starts talking.
That's true too.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I think it's also like, I think it's just kind of like, this guy doesn't want to get into it.
Yeah, I get some of that too, where it's like, especially when it's
I don't like answering questions.
Especially when it's a situation where somebody is asking you these questions purely because it's like an awkward, it's small talk.
Yeah.
That it's, we're both like trapped in an elevator or something and I always think like, you know what? I'm not going to ask questions, and he'll probably appreciate that like, all right, good. This guy's giving me the indication he doesn't really want to talk to me.
Like that.
Yeah,
that's a vibe you like. Someone not wanting to talk. Yeah.
And that person walks away thinking, what a nice guy.
Yeah.
You didn't make me get into a conversation with him that I simply...
I think some people do like conversing with others.
Yeah.
Sickos, Tom.
Yeah. Well, and look, you don't need those people in your life. Yeah. Keep them at arm's length.
Yeah. What are they? You some guy. You writing a book? That's what I say when everybody asks me something. Hi, what's your name? What are you writing a book?
Yeah, that's good. That sets the tone up front early. Put somebody on the back foot.
And if they are, I just want some more information about the book before I give an on the record comment.
Yeah, exactly.
No fool.
Yeah, I'm writing a biography about you.
Yeah.
What? I didn't authorize this. Yeah, it's an unauthorized biography. They could do that?
Yeah, and then you say, yeah, that's happened to me a couple times, and I'd say, what's your angle? And they say positive.
Yeah.
And you know what? every time that's been a lie, Tom. It's
Yeah.
always been a negative. It's always been a hit piece.
That's what sells, Tim.
Yeah.
Those are the unauthorized biographies that sell. You never hear of an unauthorized biography that is like, oh, this person's great. It's always like, yeah.
Nothing salacious happened ever in his life.
No. Why else
life.
Why else, Tim, would they make those big rubber stamps that say unauthorized to put on the book covers?
Yeah. Has there ever been a legitimate unauthorized stamp, like for like official use?
Yeah, probably. Because think about like I'm trying to think of a situation, but I know there are things like so in journalism. You know, there's like a do not print, like people will put that at the top of like pre-written
something
obituaries
like,
or something like that.
Or
or embargoed. Like, so maybe back then they had some kind of like unauthorized, something like that of like, this can't go out. Look.
Yeah.
And so there's no confusion. I put a big stamp on it.
It's funny in this day and age that we're still using the trope of a like big red stamp.
That says unauthorized.
Or just anything, you know, where it's just like...
Yeah, stamps are still out there for the most part.
I'm not stamping things. Or they even... Didn't they stop stamping passports even? Because they all got like chips in them now.
Yeah, they've all got chips. Yeah, they don't... I mean, not...
They stamp them for like a souvenir purpose, right? But not like... Nobody's going to like... Be like, let's forensically look at where this guy was.
Yeah, I think it's for the it depends on the country, I believe. Not every country has moved off stamping them. Yeah.
How are you doing this week, Tom?
I'm good. That was making me think of something else that I was about to talk about first, though. I had this happen Speaking of,
you trailed off and didn't say anything for a few seconds, so I tried to change the subject.
Well, I was trying to remember.
Sorry, I misread the situation.
Remember what it was. And I remember it now. It was because speaking of like modern, not so conveniences.
Okay.
This is a new segment.
It's great. Got a real snappy name. I like it. Yeah.
It created itself. I had this happen where we never get anything that needs to be like signed from the post office. They just don't try to even do that. They just leave a tag in the mailbox that says like, sorry, we missed you. And it's like, you missed me because I don't live inside the mailbox. Yeah. You have to come to my door.
You know what you should say?
What?
Miss me with that.
They'd probably say we did.
Yeah. Here's a slip to that effect.
And even worse is like the slip has a place where you can sign it and say like, yeah, redeliver it. Here, I signed this. It's fine. They won't do that. It just won't come. So you have to like go to the post office to pick something up if you got that slip. It's very annoying. And I had to pick something up for Laura the other day, a wedding adjacent thing. And on the other side of that slip, it's like, oh, here are the options. The third option is you can authorize somebody else to pick this up for you. So I was like, oh, great. Here, yeah, just, you sign it, put my name, and I'll go pick it up. Now, when I go to pick it up, the first thing they say is like, when I hand it, where's Laura? And I'm like, no, it's on the other. She's like, and like wouldn't let me talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, when she did, she was like, if you would let me finish, all I need you to do is have her text a photo of her ID to show me on your phone. And I was like, that's not what it says on the back of the form.
Yeah, and that's not an official protocol.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't prove anything. But I was like, shut up, idiot. Just do it to get the thing so you can get out of the post office.
Was it that garter belt for the...
it was the garter belt for the thing, for the
ceremony.
Yeah, they make you sign for them now.
Yeah.
It's life in Joe Brandon's America, Tim. You got to sign for garter belts.
Prudes. America the prudeful.
Yeah. But to answer your earlier question, Tim, I'm doing good this week. Do you notice anything different about me?
You've got a glow about you.
Do you know you did notice something different about me? Tim, you might be noticing that glow because I recently received a facial.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not the kind you're thinking of, Tim. I'm not talking about the category on
All right,
porn.
are you going? You went to a spa?
I went to a I guess like a facial place. I guess it was a treat from Laura, so I didn't look like
she
a
wanted
hideous beast.
Now, does that ensure that you're not gonna have like a breakout on like I don't know? What, they just wash your face? I don't know. I don't know how it goes.
I didn't really know how it went either, Tim. And until I got there, the big thing. I mean, like, it's also one of those things where like there's a bunch of stuff happening, but you can't see it most of the time.
Yeah.
So you're kind of trying to figure out like, oh, what's this stuff?
Do you ever think it's a prank and like they're gonna hold up a mirror at the end and your face is gonna be all blue?
I didn't, luckily.
Like they're hard at work, and then you look and it's like, oh no, you've made my skin all green and put a big fake nose with a wart on it. Now I look like a witch.
Yeah, I would have noticed if they were like applying prosthetics to me. I think.
Yeah, but would you have questioned it? You would
no,
have like,
you know what? I wouldn't.
This
have.
is just what a facial is.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have until I saw it in a mirror.
Yeah.
But I would have thought like, oh,
well,
maybe
then
this is
the
like
jig
some
is
kind
up.
of.
Then the prank is done.
This is some kind of like nose exfoliator.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be shaped like a big witch's nose.
Yeah, with the big wart on it.
Yeah. No, they like put different creams and stuff on your face. But the biggest thing was they squeeze out the blackheads.
Okay.
On like your nose and stuff. Holy cow, it hurts so bad.
Yeah, you're always complaining about things hurt.
This hurt, Tim.
I feel like you got a massage one time and you're like, never again.
Sometimes massages hurt. Sometimes they can be too hard.
You're a delicate little boy, aren't you?
Tim, during the break, I'm going to do to you what this lady did to me.
Don't you dare touch me.
It hurt.
You want me to experience it? You buy me a gift certificate.
All right. You know what? I'm half tempted to just for you to see how much this hurts.
All right. Prove me wrong, Tom.
I know you always say being a woman's easy. All they have to do is sit around getting pampered all day. But beauty is pain and pain is beauty, Tim.
Wow. It's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah. No, just like, I don't know. She was like scraping and stuff. It was like basic. It felt like she was trying to rip my nose off my face.
Right. Maybe she was.
Maybe. Well, she didn't succeed. I hung on to it for dear life. And then,
were you fighting her off at the?
I was like, pulling on the other. Well, I guess the other side's attached to my face, huh?
So do they really just focus on the nose?
No, well, for the blackheads, nose and like a little bit of my forehead, she said, was where they focus where you have them. Some people have them in other places, and that's where they get rid of them. A lot of hot towels on the face too, which felt nice. Yeah, to get some of that gross stuff out.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see it either, which I was a little disappointed. I probably could have asked.
When did you go?
Last week.
Okay, so how long does it last? How long does the?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a while. I think like, you know.
Does Laura expect you to go again before your wedding?
No. I think maybe you go monthly.
Okay.
If you were like real diligent about it.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a skincare routine?
Tim, I do, and here's the problem.
Did you adopt it within the last 6 months, knowing that you were leading up to your wedding? Okay.
No, it's just very basic. It's just I have like a face wash, and then I have a moisturizer. That's it.
Yeah.
But
you ever use an exfoliating face wash?
Tim, I was just about to say, I accidentally said to this woman that I have like a face scrub instead of a face wash. Wouldn't let it go. Kept telling me how bad that is, how awful that is. It's too rough. It's too much.
What if it came in part of a kit where you have a regular face wash and then it's like, put this charcoal stuff. It's problematic when you're but like you wash it off before you go outside.
Right.
But the 3 months that I did it 2 years ago, Tom.
Well, charcoal, that might be, I don't know. I mean, what you're describing might be.
I'm not talking about
scrub.
the microplastics.
You're right.
That,
okay.
Like, yeah.
I don't know. It was just, I said, and I mentioned to Laura afterwards, I was like, I accidentally said that I use a face scrub, and before I finished, she was like, "Oh boy, yeah, I bet they really leaned into you on that." Like,
or do you think it's like, if you use that, you're putting us out of business? Because that's essentially what we're doing over here.
Maybe. Nah, I think it was mostly that she was just like, you have to be, you can't use that often. Which makes sense. Like, you don't want to use something abrasive all the time.
Right.
But it was one of those things.
Some of us are made of sterner stuff than soft boys such as yourself.
One of those things where she had already, like, talked about it so much. And then, like, I realized, like, oh, yeah, it's not a scrub. It's just a face wash. But now it was, like, too late to say it to her. But then she kept, like, chastising me about it. Not chastising, but, like, warning me about it. And it was like, I should just say it. But now it's even later. Now it seems even crazier that I let her say all this.
I just
kept hoping she would stop talking about it, but she never did.
Yeah, I hate when people just don't let you. Like, one time, like in my 20s, I went a few years without going to the dentist. Right? I brushed my teeth. I would even floss occasionally. And then I was like, I got to find a new dentist. I'm going to go.
Oh, and you told that, I haven't been to a dentist in a while.
Yeah. And like, every opportunity, you should come. It's like, yeah, I'm here. What, are you going to keep yelling at me? Am I going to get in a time machine? I told you, I wish I had gone. I wish I had been going consistently. I didn't.
I swore to you, if I rubbed a lamp and a genie came, one of my wishes.
You made me swear.
And I don't even care if he tricks me with the wish and somehow then I have to go to the dentist every day. I'll still be happy.
Yeah, but this dentist wouldn't let it go. And it's like, all right, well, now I'm not going to come back here again.
Yeah.
Get fucking lectured.
Yeah. Everybody relax.
Yeah. I scrub my face and I don't go to the dentist. Get over it.
Stop telling people they're doing things wrong, even if they are.
Tom.
Yes.
We're talking bachelor parties this week.
Yes. I can't wait, Tim. I can't wait to see what you have planned for my big bachelor party this week.
This is an episode of our podcast about bachelor parties.
Yeah, and then afterwards, where are we going? Vegas, Atlantic City.
You did...
Coney Island.
Can I don't know. I didn't have a bachelor party.
No.
And I don't regret it.
Wow.
Or do I regret it?
I don't know. To all jokes aside, I've not had a bachelor party. Mostly because we don't have wedding parties. So like I don't have a best man, so there isn't like a person, and I could have assigned my brother to do it, but then I would have like felt bad that I'd be like, all right, I'm making you do all the work of a best man, but without any kind of
that sweet best man gift.
Without that official title,
right?
That you put on your resume.
Yeah, I was my brother's best man, and
I was mine too.
Made me the man I am today.
Yeah, and the CEO of Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
Because you put it on your resume.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking for the best man for this job.
Yeah. And I didn't say, look, I knew that's not the context I put it on my resume, but I wasn't, when somebody's agreeing with you, you don't interrupt them. Yeah, it's best man for the job. Yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah.
And look at me now. Wearing a golden suit.
I was trying to think of like a company that's like famously failing right now, but I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
Anything except for 4 tech companies.
No wedding party. So nobody to plan a bachelor party except for me. One of the worst people at planning things.
Right.
And so I just never planned it. And I think to your point, maybe I don't like, I wasn't like craving it. You know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about like a wild or even wet and wild type of party.
Or even wet and wild, as if that's like tamer than wild.
No, I know it's not. I'm saying, it goes that step further. But just, I think because of my experience with bachelor parties, where I've just always kind of like, I don't know, I've always had like a good time, but I think I've not necessarily always felt like the like groom has had a good time.
I don't know what the vibe is supposed to be. I don't know what the expectations are, right? Because like previous generations, I feel like it was a bachelor party because like people got married real young.
Yeah, well, and the other thing that's changed is that it used to always be the night before the wedding.
Yeah.
That it was like literally, you're getting married tomorrow, so now it's the last time.
And they were like debaucherous.
Yeah.
And if some movies were any indication, sometimes people get accidentally killed and they'd have to cover up
it happened more often than you think.
Death of a sex worker.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't want anything to do with that.
No, let somebody else take care of that.
Covering up an accidental death, that's not my department.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere near an accidental death or a non-accidental death.
If I had nothing to do with it, then I'd like to remain having nothing to do with it. Thank you very much.
So keep me away from your cover-ups.
Yeah. So it used to be the night before, which is also insane to think about being like ridiculously hungover for your wedding.
Right.
But again, I guess it makes more sense that it's like, I don't know, being like really badly hungover when you're 23 is a lot different than when you're 43. So 23, you can I'll muscle through. Like if
I'm gonna feel not myself until 1 p.m. and then I'll be fine.
Yeah. Like if I had like the worst hangover of my life, the wedding's off. Tom's at the hospital. He'll be there until further notice.
And like in the past, I feel like it was debaucherous.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I haven't been to a debaucherous bachelor party, and I think I've been to one or two where I think the groom wished it was a debaucherous bachelor party.
I've been to those kinds
and it's just like, I don't know. I don't think anybody here is into what you want to be doing, man.
Yeah.
And like you're too afraid to bring it up.
I've been to I think two debaucherous, like semi-debaucherous bachelor parties, I guess. Bachelor parties that are halfway between debaucherous and exactly what you're describing.
Right.
Which is basically like, in these cases, the groom wanted, like, so it's like, all right, man, like it's your thing. So it was like the groom and maybe like, two other people that were like real into that. And then everybody else just kind of being like, well, look at him. He's happy. He's having a great time. And that's what matters most. I'm not. I don't particularly like this. It's costing like a fortune.
Yeah.
I'm buying the most expensive drinks I've ever bought in a place I don't want to be right now, but like it's what this person wants. So, but I've also been in that situation where I've thought like, all right, we'll give him an hour or two here. He'll get out of his system. And then it's like, oh, we're not going to the next location. We're going to stay here now. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I think I've only been to one bachelor party.
Oh, and the two that I'm thinking of, 2 or 3 I'm thinking of. In one case, the marriage didn't happen. And in the other 2 cases, they're divorced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, correlation's not causation.
Yeah.
But
and a failed marriage doesn't mean anybody's a bad person.
Well, sometimes it does.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's correlation causation.
What if a marriage fails because one person's killed the other one? You think that's still a successful marriage, Tim?
In some ways. till death do you part.
They fulfilled that end of the contract.
But I guess they're supposed to love each other, and if you're murdering,
well, Tim, sometimes the murderers say that they're doing it because they love them.
Yeah, your friend and role model, O.J. Simpson, wrote a whole book about it.
That's why you can't trust.
If he did anything wrong, it was loving Nicole too much.
That's what according to him, according to his book. Isn't
it weird that O.J. Simpson's dead?
Yeah, it kind of is. Like I always think he's gonna pop back up.
Yeah. Well, it's Halloween.
It is Halloween.
Well, it's not Halloween, and also that didn't mean anything. But
Halloween's famously a time when the dead come back to life.
Yeah. I used to get a little freaked out about O.J. Simpson.
What do you mean? Like running into him?
In my closet or something.
What? Tim, you've been was this before he was a murderer and you were just afraid of him?
No, it's like during the trial, I guess. You ever wake up?
We all knew where he was.
I didn't know where he was.
He escaped out of an L.A. penitentiary, flew across the country to hide in your closet.
Maybe.
When you were like 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was rational. I think I was consuming a little too much OJ news. You wake up in the middle of the night, you're in a weird mood, Yeah. So you get freaked out when you wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, right?
Yeah, but it's
do you ever try to scare yourself? Be like, let's see how scary I can make things.
I've talked about this on the show that I do that a lot of times when I'm in rental places for some reason.
For some reason. Yeah. And it's just man, it'd be crazy if I hadn't locked the door, which I didn't really understand how the lock worked anyway.
Wasn't real sure if I did lock it. No, because you're staying at a rental or somebody else's house and you get up in the middle of the night to get water or to pee. Mm-hmm. And it's everything looks different at night. And I'm not used to this. I don't know what shadows should be there and which ones should not.
Yeah. In my own not very large apartment, if I fall asleep on the couch watching the Drew Carey show, which I've been doing, and wake up at 3 a.m, I even though I see that the only door to the apartment is locked, I'm just there's probably a man in here that got in. It's about to terrorize me and my family.
If the man's gotten in,
you gotta lock the door behind him.
Yeah, it's very easy. He doesn't want other men coming in.
That's true.
Blowing up his spot. Somebody walks in, you're like, hey, get out of here. The other guy's, hey, what about that guy though? Oh my God, I didn't even know that guy was in here. Yeah, you too, out.
Yeah, shoo him out with a broom.
I forgot where I was going before when I was talking about having not had a bachelor party, that I've recently learned, Tim, that it's a new trend to have a post-wedding bachelor party or bachelorette party. Which here's the thing. It kind of makes sense to me just in the way that bachelor parties for a lot of people nowadays are not a debauch. It's more of especially some people do it's a group vacation somewhere.
Yeah.
So that does kind of make sense that it's this would be easier to plan after the wedding or something. Because I know a lot of people nowadays have bachelor parties super in advance.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been invited to multiple bachelor parties for weddings that didn't happen. And it's not even that crazy because it was this bachelor party happened a year before the wedding would have.
The way that you're talking about it, you've been to a lot more bachelor parties than I have.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll just join one if I see one happen.
Oh yeah, that's cool. You just kind of
hey boys, what are we celebrating?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. Oh, the old ball and chain. And give him a ribbing, and they say, "Hey, why don't you come hang out with us, buddy?"
So I think this was the worst thing that ever happened. I was my brother's best man, and that was good. I was honored to do it,
right?
But I think it was over a decade ago, right? Like it was like I was old enough to be mature, but like I wasn't very mature, and like he's a few years older than me, and so like I was organizing a weekend at like an Airbnb, you know, with a bunch of his friends. Yeah. But like I shouldn't have been in charge of that. And then like I was told to, but then like one of my brother's friends was like there to like babysit me and make sure that I actually did this, and like he actually booked the Airbnb, and then like I was supposed to.
So it sounds like
I was kind of best man at name only. I gave a speech at the wedding.
He babysat me to make sure I did all these things I didn't do, and then he had to do them.
Yeah, pretty much. And I forget what it was. Recently, I was going through my old Gmail to be like, how bad a job did I do? Yeah, and like. There was one email from this other guy that was like, hey, can you just, like, the following people have not paid yet. Can you email them? And, like, this was back in the time where, like, Venmo didn't exist. Like, people were like mailing checks.
Yeah, money orders.
And, like, he's like, you get the money from these people. It's like, sure, I'll email them right now. And, like, 3 days later, he's like, did you email them yet? And I was like, oh, I'll email them now. And then, like... Another 3 days went by, and then he just wrote the email to everybody. And it's like, yeah, I shouldn't have been in charge of this.
Yeah.
Also, like, these were all people I didn't know. They were my brother's college friends, so I didn't want to be like being like, send me a check. I don't know.
Send me a check. Well, tell them who you are.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't think they'd take me seriously.
Yeah, right. He said, our friend said he didn't have a brother.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of these are just like, I think less like, hey, we have to like, this guy needs to see as many naked ladies as possible before we get, and it's more just like, hey, let's bro out for a little while because like, we're not going to be able to
excuse.
Like relive our youth ever, because like people have responsibilities now, right? Like it's a rite of passage. You're now more of an adult.
Well, and that's what I thought too about like, because I did have this idea that I never followed through on of like doing a camping trip with everybody,
right?
With the boys. But I thought about when I saw that this post wedding bachelor parties exist, I was like, oh, let's do this. But then I thought like, nah, people aren't going to drop things like they would. You know, not, and like even that, it's like, you know, you're asking a lot of people, to do like an entire weekend bachelor party, and I just thought like, if I try and do that, especially it would be after it'd probably be like a year after the wedding. No, everybody's gonna be like, what? No, this has nothing to do with being a bachelor anymore. You're just trying to organize a trip. So can I bring my wife or my...
Well, you know, we know people that have done like joint bachelorette parties where it's just like, we're all going to go out and have a nice time.
Yeah. But yeah, but cool. Like a post one, then at some point it's like
you're hung up on this together. Post one. I don't believe this actually exists.
Well, I'm hung up on it, Tim, because I don't have much time to do a pre one, so I guess I have to do a post one.
I got you covered.
You have me covered?
Yeah.
How so?
After this, we'll go.
After this,
there's an all night diner around here.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't necessarily sound like a fun bachelor party.
Well, you know.
I had a similar situation as my brother's best man, and you have an older brother, but I have a younger brother.
The original odd couple.
Yeah, one of the ways we're different, but like similarly, like, you know, separate enough in age that like I don't know his friends that well,
right?
And I felt the same. Like I kind of felt bad because like I was planning the party, and just kind of went by what my brother wanted.
Right.
And like he was up front that he was like, I don't want to do this strip club thing. Like, don't like do a surprise strip. Like, I'm just not into it. Like, I don't want to do it. So then, not that any of his friends like suggested anything like that, but I felt like on guard of like, if one of these guys says,
one of these goddamn scumbags,
I'm going to have to step in and say, that's my baby brother. And you can't make him go to that. He doesn't want to. It's upsetting to him, he said.
He just loves his fiance so much.
So like we wound up just going to like, we did fun stuff.
Hooters.
No. Where did we go to lunch? I forget, but we went to, well, we did something called zombie paintball.
Okay.
That was fun.
Some kind of paintball.
It was paintball inside like a warehouse with like people dressed up as zombies.
Okay.
And we went to a brewery, and then we did one other thing. We did like fun things.
Yeah.
But like I felt like his friends were like a little.
We're the naked ladies.
Yeah, like wanted more debauchery, and I don't know if Ryan was like saying this to me, my brother saying this to me in a like, hey, don't do this in a like wink wink.
Yeah.
Or if like, you know, he's like, yeah, I don't want, but like if they force us to, that's fine. Like if they desperately want to do that so they have a good time.
What I would have tried to do was like plan enough of a day where and leave enough time at the end where you could be like, all right, I'm getting out of here. I got to go back to Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like if some of his scumbag friends, if that's really what he wanted, some of his scumbag friends would be like, we knew your brother would wuss out. Yeah. So we planned this, and like you could, you know.
And he was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, my brother's such a wuss. Everyone knows it.
After the wedding, let's all kick his ass.
Before the wedding, right before the wedding, right before pictures. No, I think I probably did leave. So I'm sure like they could.
They had the opportunity.
Yeah, that happened. My soon to be wife's brother had that happen to him. They sprung like a bachelor party. They sprung it on him before. The night before the wedding.
Right.
And went to like, it sounded like a very shady place in Philadelphia. You know, like somebody did, I think, as much research as like Google Maps, what's the closest.
Right.
And then they went there, and it apparently was terrifying.
It just wasn't, I don't know. That's a scene that you and I have never really thrived in or cared about.
Yeah.
Like, never been like, hey, let's go to a strip club and be normal.
Have strip club.
Have that to be like a thing that's like, yeah, this isn't the saddest, weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Look, to each their own, I guess. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, when you're going to a strip club with a bachelor party, like it's fun because everybody's like in a partying mood. But then, when you're at a strip club, you're also like seeing like the regulars.
Yeah.
And they don't make you feel great. They don't make you feel like you want to party.
I disagree with it's fun. Like the one bachelor party, I think I've only been to one that wound up at a strip club. And I just went out onto the patio. This was a long time ago.
Tim, that was the stage, and they were furious.
No, and I just remember just like, to your point earlier, I just like bummed cigarettes from people on the patio and just stood there going like, I'm going to have to pitch in for whatever's going on. And like, I'm in no financial position to do that. Like, I'm going to go back in and just be like, all right, we're leaving. You owe $250 for, and I'll be like, don't even tell me.
Yeah. Probably just for like
lap dances.
Lap dance or
yeah, no, I'm not suggesting anything.
Or a bare chest.
What?
That's another option you can pay for.
A bare chest?
Yeah.
What's that?
You never been to a strip club? A stripper said, would you like to see my bare chest?
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all sexy like. Would you like to see my bare chest?
Yeah. So a lot of people these days, they got on an airplane with people.
Yeah.
and they go to a place like Las Vegas or Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And they walk around. Here's the other thing. They walk around like hot shots,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
smoking cigars and stuff. And being like, number one,
Mm-hmm.
I think another reason I didn't want or have a bachelor party, and don't say, oh, because you have no friends and nobody would have gone.
I wasn't even going to suggest
you
that.
You were going to say that. You were going to say that. I saw your mouth opening. Is that like, I don't want to be like, this is a party for me. I'm the guest of
the
honor.
party boy.
I'm the boy that we're all. But like the other thing is like, I don't want this whole like, even if it's not debaucherous, it's just kind of like, hey, we're all gonna like, I don't know, act like big shots or hot shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's why I do think it's kind of funny. Like, our friends in the UK refer to these things as stag do's and hen do's.
Right.
And I feel like there's more of an emphasis on humiliating the person.
Right.
In those situations.
But I don't want that to happen to me either.
Oh, that's even worse.
One of the things I hate most is being humiliated.
Yeah. That's even worse. But I feel like, yeah, I agree with you of the whole, like, yeah, we're going to act like big shots. Like, I know people who have had Vegas bachelor parties for like, for like an entire weekend or an entire week in some cases. And it's like, and those people have come back and they're like, I lost $10,000 and, I feel awful. I don't know why I did this. But yeah, I'm not into it.
Hey, if you like doing that, that's cool. I don't know. I think what we're revealing about ourselves, I mean, I think after 15 years of doing this, we've probably done this a lot, is that like
cowards.
We don't really have a lot of interests either. Because I know like people go to Vegas and they're like, oh, there's good golf courses and all the boys are going to golf. It's like, I'm not interested in that. It's like, oh, we're going to go to the clubs. And it's like, I'm not interested in that. Like, hey, maybe if we hit up Penn and Teller's magic show, Chris Angel, Mind Freak.
Some of the smaller. Does David Copperfield still have a Vegas show?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I know somebody that had their bachelor party at David Copperfield's private island where you can hunt women.
Is that true?
Yeah, I was just like, I want nothing to do with this. Again, the aforementioned.
Well, were you invited?
Covering up. I'm invited to pretty
like
much
you
every
weren't
bachelor
invited.
party.
It sounds like you just knew
even
somebody.
People who barely know me are like, you seem like you're going to be a ton of fun. Can you come to my bachelor party? And I always had to pull it. Like, if I accepted every invitation to a bachelor party, Tom, I wouldn't have a free weekend.
There's also a thing, and look, I'm not trying to throw any of my friends under the bus because, like, legitimately, as I'm like Rolodexing through like my friends, I'm like, I don't know anybody like this, but I've known people like this, plenty of people, and I think especially as you get older, you run into more of a risk of like having a bachelor party. Like I said, I'm 43. Having a bachelor party and there being like a friend of mine there who's 43 who has potentially been married for like 15 years now and is like, oh, finally, it's my turn to cut loose.
Right.
And I've been at bachelor parties where there have been those guys. And it's not even a like, oh boy, they caused a lot of trouble. It's like, no, this person like couldn't stand by like 6 o'clock because they just started pounding beers, forgetting that they haven't had more than 2 beers in a night in 10 years because like they have kids or whatever. And now,
I mean, that's what's going to happen to me at your wedding, Tom.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, I have no responsibilities for the first time in a long time. And I think... are you serving drinks during the ceremony?
There are drinks, I think, on the way into the ceremony.
Okay, so I'll make sure to... I'll bring some sort of bladder system that I can take multiple drinks and store them in so I can drink throughout the ceremony.
I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty quick ceremony. I think, and as soon as it's over, it's cocktail hour. We'll
see. I don't know. But then there's always that rush... of drinks right at the beginning of cocktail hour. I want a few in, like I said, some sort of rubber bladder system that I can keep under my sport coat.
I believe they're anticipating for that, and they will have like some drinks like already poured.
I know, but I don't want water. I don't want them to be watered down if the drinks are poured and there's ice in them. Like
these wouldn't have ice. I think it's like, champagne and wine or whatever.
Well, okay, that's not going to be strong enough. Is it like a whiskey drink when I arrive?
Well, my signature drink, Tim, is in fact a whiskey drink.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you divulge? This is not coming out until Tom. When this episode comes out,
yeah, I'll be a married
man.
With any luck. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knocking on your head.
How dare you,
Pinocchio? If he were made into a real boy long ago, Blue Fairy came.
Who, me or Pinocchio?
Yeah, you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's wow, how nice of you to say. I was looking up though, like Bachelor, like what people do nowadays, what the kids are into, Tim.
You can fly a fighter jet with Sky Combat Ace.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, that's the number one
shit.
thing of activities you can do in Las Vegas for your amazing bachelor party.
Why didn't I have a bachelor party in Las Vegas?
I don't want to fly a fighter jet.
You can be down on the ground. You could be the control tower or something.
You don't want me running the controls?
No, the control tower.
Yeah, I know.
They don't control the planes.
They tell them where to go.
Yeah, there'll be another guy there. He'll be like, "Oh, look over there, though." And like, there's a plane over there. Wait.
Entire wedding party killed in bachelor party air disaster.
Yeah. That sounds sick, though. I'd be down to do something.
You could also
like that.
go clubbing at Omnia.
Yeah. See, I'm not real into clubbing to begin with, so
yeah,
I probably wouldn't be too interested in that.
Beer crawls. Sorry. Anyway, this is timeout.com, Timeout Las Vegas.
This also reminds me, I've got to use, my brother bought me a while ago a gift card to go to one of those indoor skydiving places, which I think is also like a bachelor party activity. Anything like that. Anything where dudes can be dudes.
You know what happened to Jesse Katsopoulos, though?
Who? Oh, from Full House?
Yeah, the night before he was marrying Aunt Becky. He was worried, like, oh no, like I'm gonna lose my edge, right? Mm-hmm. And he and Joey had a bachelor party of their own. They went skydiving. Mm-hmm. Then they got caught in a tree, and he almost missed his own.
Oh man,
he almost missed his own wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody came looking for him.
They didn't know where to look. They were stuck in a tree with their. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
And then everybody was waiting. Becky was waiting at the altar.
Boy, they really cut that bachelor party close to the ceremony, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Joey said cut it out.
What do you mean? Of the...
No, when he was cutting it close, he said cut it out.
Was that confusing?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was the day before. Tom, you were talking about the day before bachelor.
So they were stuck overnight?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe, I don't know.
They must have thought they were dead. Right? At some point.
Or just like
at some point there had to have been like
no, nobody knew that they were going skydiving.
Oh, it's secret skydiving.
So maybe he snuck out early in the morning.
And the people wearing the skydiving, they just fly by night. They don't check to see if the people that
well, like I said, it didn't happen at night. So fly by morning maybe.
Okay. But it's like, yeah, those guys that jumped out of the plane with our parrot, we don't know where they went. Oh well.
Maybe Joey and Jesse brought their own parachutes. It's hard to say.
There's a skydiving place, I think in Vegas, that has had like a tremendous amount of deaths.
Really?
Like have had like a lot of accidents. Like it's awful. And like I read a thing that was basically talking about how it's insane that this place was still open because it was something like they've had 9 deaths. And it's like most skydiving places don't have any.
Yeah. Do you aspire to go skydiving, or is the indoor skydiving going to be your?
I think indoor
limit?
skydiving is. I really like the idea of skydiving. I don't like the idea of being up so high, and then
jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, Like when you watch the skydiving videos and the guys are just like zooming around the air, like that looks fun as hell. But it's also like,
you want to zoom around. I want to cut right to the chute is open, and I'm just gracefully drifting down.
No,
right? Like,
I think that part seems scarier to me. I think.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why, but it does.
Because you're already safe.
You're not necessarily safe. What if you land in some electrical lines
or a tree and nobody knows you're there? But you're safer than you are before your chute opens.
Nah,
because your chute might not open.
That's true, but I don't know. I think it would scare me being in a parachute.
If you were
I'd rather just hit the floor. No, the zooming around looks cool.
Nah, you'd get so overwhelmed with the zooming around. You'd be like, pull the chute, pull the cord. Also, you got to be strapped to a guy for like the first 20 times you do it.
No, I was going to say that's the worst part, though. It's like before you could even do anything fun, you have to do it like 500 times before they'll, not that many times, but a lot before they'll trust you on your own.
Yeah. And so like they're going to like tie you to like some 24-year-old bro. He's like, I've done this a million times, man. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm a little slow because I had a bachelor party last night, but it'll be all right. So yeah, I don't know. I watched this video the other day of a one of those not like a wingsuit guy, but get this, instead of a wingsuit, he just had a big rug. He just
was it Aladdin? Were you watching Aladdin?
No, they did have the I can show you the world behind it.
A whole new world, yeah.
Yeah, a whole new world.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, Princess Land, now when did you last let your heart decide?
Wow, that's beautiful. Can you sing that during the wedding, please?
Yeah, I planned on it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's why I need all those drinks ahead of time.
I see.
For courage.
Yeah, loosen you up a little bit.
Yeah, and to loosen up the
old vocal cords.
Exactly.
But it looked really cool. This guy skydiving with but it also looked like the kind of thing of like
unbelievable sights.
I counted like 10 different times where like something almost happened that would have spelled instant death. Like where it's like, oh, the corner almost like folded under there. And I think that would have started him tumbling.
You watch a lot of different things. You and I have very different viewing habits.
I'm sorry that I'm more extreme than you, Tim, that I like watching.
You're one of the most extreme guys I know.
Adrenaline junkie videos. I do kind of like watching adrenaline junkie videos. You ever watch videos and it makes your palms sweat?
No, I watch videos where it's like, well, I've eaten every food at Disney World. I'm gonna rate them all.
You just watch videos where they're sweating.
Yeah. No, I watch a lot of like, I've tried every X and I'm going to rate them all.
Okay. And now do you get like useful information out of that? Do you walk away from that thinking like, okay, now I know what the best...
No, I'm always disappointed. I'm always like, I don't really care about this. And like, I disagree with this ranking, but like, I don't know why, because I haven't eaten any of this.
Right,
you know, like,
but this doesn't seem like it makes sense.
And like, was that really 35 minutes? And was that the best way for me to spend 35 minutes?
A review of a bunch of restaurants I'm never going to go to.
Yeah.
Have you had or have you even seen this new Coca-Cola Oreo collaboration going on?
I've heard rumblings about it.
Yeah. So they got Oreo flavored Coke and Coke flavored Oreos.
I didn't know the second part.
Yeah, I have some of the Coke flavored Oreos, Tim.
Are they good?
No. But
are they carbonated?
They have Pop Rocks in the cream.
I was told that would kill you.
I mean, I've only
It killed that boy from the commercials. Michael.
Mikey?
His name
that was mixing Pop Rocks and Coke.
The boy has passed. Please call him Michael. Mikey.
It follows this trend of like, especially I feel like Coca-Cola flavored or flavored Coca-Colas. Mm-hmm. But, you know, packaged garbage in general that I hate, which is I'll eat it and I'll go, ugh, I don't like this at all. but then I want more of it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
your brain is
sugar.
Broken, Tom.
Yeah, it's just sugar, and my brain goes, more of that, please. But it doesn't taste. I don't care what it tastes like. I don't.
You shut up. I'm in control.
Yeah.
Now compulsively eat this till they're gone.
But anyway, back to bachelor parties. I was looking up different things to do, like you were saying, and they had I didn't see this one. Go to a dude ranch.
Ooh,
that'd be cool. Oh, and herd cattle.
McGriff.
I don't want to herd cattle. I just want to work at a summer camp.
Yeah.
But they have like a bunch of.
Not if Mr. Ernst is going to be there.
Nah, he was all
Ben
right.
Ernst was a wet blanket.
Look, you need somebody to make sure the trains leave on time. And that was Ben Ernst.
Right. What a weird phrase that you got wrong. Go on.
So I'm looking at this list, and it has a bunch of like real, like manly, like axe throwing, shooting range. We went to a shooting range for a friend's bachelor party.
Yeah. Did your shoulder get all bruised from all the blowback from the gun?
Yeah. I don't think it got bruised, but it hurt.
Yeah.
Because we went skeet shooting with shotguns, and you do the pull, and a disc comes out and you shoot at it. If you didn't have the shotgun butt right up against your shoulder, then like it would hit you and get kicked back.
Yeah, I'm not good at shooting guns as well.
I missed I think I got like the first 2 shots, and I was like, oh, I know how to do this, and then missed every shot after that. But I didn't bruise my shoulder, which I was proud
I got a couple. I got like more than 2, I think.
Yeah.
But none of them were direct hits. I would always get
like wing it.
Yeah.
But
I did that like a number of times, and like they were just like, oh, so you just need to calibrate a little bit, like and it's like I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, see what you did? Just fix it a little bit. Yeah, like, of course.
If you're not careful, I'll shoot you with this gun.
But you were gonna say that they'd be like, all right, yeah, that duck would be suffering tremendously right now. Every time I went, Tim, right after I shot, I heard this.
Yeah,
that dog from Duck Hunt, he kept coming up laughing at me. Boy, I would put 10 bullets in that guy whenever he popped up.
You couldn't shoot the dog, right?
No, but I think the screen still flashed, so like it kind of felt like you were. That smug bastard. Anyway,
still wild that Duck Hunt worked in like 1987.
I can't get into the technology.
I know.
It's very interesting.
I don't want to hear about it.
But anyway,
I regretted saying that.
They have this long list of axe throwing, shooting range, archery, fly fishing, chartering a boat, paintball, war, overnight rafting trip.
Going to war?
Paintball war.
Oh, okay.
Survivalist experience, skydiving. But then they have a trampoline park.
It's more
don't get me wrong.
It's more of a 9-year-old's birthday party.
Yeah, that sounds sick. But if a bunch of fucking drunk guys showed up at a trampoline park, like, yeah, it's our bachelor party. You'd be like, what the hell is going on? Also, I can't imagine as a grown man being able to stand a trampoline for more than 5 minutes without being. I just remember as a kid that being the most tiring thing you could do.
Yeah,
it's really jump. Do you remember going to? You ever go to Whitey Ford's?
Whitey Ford's,
and go on their trampolines. They had a basketball trampoline thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was.
I wasn't good at the basketball part, but I could jump on that trampoline.
Yeah, I didn't really give a shit about the basketball part. It was a fun reason to be doing it. Yeah. But I just remember maybe because it was a big warehouse. It was very dry in there. And whenever I was done with the bat, I was so thirsty.
That's how they get you. And that's how they got you to buy some Coca-Cola.
Well, joke's on them. I was happy to.
You know how they have American Ninja Warrior these days? And they have the ninja gyms that you can train at?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there aren't a ton of them, but...
No, there's a lot of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a very popular thing.
Should we start doing this?
Well, what I was... what would have been cool when we were kids With the popularity of Nickelodeon's Guts, if there were like Guts gyms that you could train in locally.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would have been huge.
Yeah. We should open that now.
Yeah. Have you been dying to make President Ronald Reagan and Arnold Schwarzenegger proud by winning the presidential challenge? Or was it Bush? Did he do it with Reagan, or was it just Bush?
Who? Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Or maybe both.
I think both.
Yeah. But anyway, you could do it. Yeah. If we were training in the Guts gym, I might have been able to achieve the Presidential Fitness Award. You
at very least gotten a picture with Mike O'Malley and Mo.
At least. I love that.
Yeah, it would have been stop number one for me.
So I'm looking at this list. Further down the list is from Primer Magazine, which I don't know what that is, but check them out. Exotic car experience, like that sounds kind of cool. Like you can go like rent exotic. I know
exotic cars.
I've heard of people
bro culture.
Well, just renting exotic
car. Fucking exotic.
Listen,
first of all.
I think that's lame. Just renting one. But what I do,
sex with it.
But what I do think is cool, which I have heard people
wiener
doing,
in the tailpipe. What
is doing that at like a racetrack? So you get to like actually like race the cars, see what is really open those babies up.
Tom, you shouldn't do that.
What, me or just anyone?
You or anyone.
No, but I'm saying I'd rather.
This is what I'm talking about. People acting like freaking hot shots.
I'd rather look. I'm sure they don't let you go over like 40 miles an hour, and they're probably like, "You're going so fast, sir." But I'd rather
they just change the speedometer.
Yeah, I'd rather they have like the stands and everything on track, so they just go by you faster. But like, I'd much rather drive a Ferrari or a Lamborghini around a track than like drive one around town to be a hot shot.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have fun than like try and impress somebody with a rented car. Car repair lesson. Give me a break. But then one here they have is just ride trikes down Route 66.
Trikes?
Yeah.
Like those
3-wheel motorcycles.
Yeah.
It says, I struggle with this one because trikes are way less cool than motorcycles, but not everybody rides. So they're easier to ride. Well, how would you have responded if I had like sent you an email like, all right, boys, we're riding trikes down Route 66.
I mean, Route 66 is kind of
Well, if I said, all right, boys, we're about to get our kicks.
That's
finally in Route 66. One of the suggestions is rent scooters in Montreal. Seems awfully specific.
This Primer magazine?
Yeah. Okay. What if I had sent you an email saying, all right, boys, we're all going to Montreal. Guess what? We're renting scooters, not electric ones, push ones. I want everybody to be safe.
Push ones? Oh. I mean, they're not always safe, Tom. You get a pothole.
One of my teeth is half fake because of a scooter accident as a child.
Jim Carrey style. I hope that doesn't get knocked out right before your wedding.
Oh, gee, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I hope so too. It did, like, once in my life, I've had to have it redone because it like fell out.
What were you eating?
I don't think it was even. I think it just like literally like I was sitting watching TV and it was like, oh shit, it just wore out, fell out.
Hope it wasn't stress related because
I don't think like fake teeth fall out because they're stress due to stress. Anyway, if you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can find links to our subreddit or Discord or social media there. Check out our subreddit. This week, I saw people have been, I mean, we're recording a little earlier this week than usual, but people have been sounding off on the subreddit with the question you posed last week.
Yeah.
About, or maybe I posed it, about which home remedies work.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear people's bachelorette party experiences. Best and worst. Best or worst.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got 2 good stories, sure. But yeah, let's get on that subreddit. I want that's the kind of thing that, there are stories that's like, oh boy, like, we were talking about earlier, small talk. I got to listen to where this guy's from and what he does for a living. But like hearing people's like nightmare bachelor and bachelorette party stories, I've always got time for that.
All right. You heard it here
They're
first.
Great.
Sound off in the comments.
Leave those comments, and hey, maybe I'll read them at my bachelor party, at my post-wedding bachelor party. Maybe or riding down a trike on Route 66.
Reddit.com/r/TCGTE.
And check out patreon.com/complete guide for Books the Podcast, the only podcast about books. This week we're finishing up the book
Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut.
A lot of Vonnegut talk in general going on during all these, because the book isn't very good.
It's thematically good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have all the hallmarks of what of the best Vonnegut works, I would say.
I still argue that I don't think any of his books had pictures in them, Tim. I know you've been disappointed in this one.
Tom. Everything's a joke to you, even literature.
This is my bachelor party, Tim. You have to be nice to me.
It's the other reason I don't go to bachelor parties.
What?
I'm nice to some guy.
All right. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.